Hello there! This hour on Verbling, the next in my speaking skills class. This is the class where you learn important vocabulary, key phrases and expressions, even strategies for dealing with important situations that'll come up in your everyday English. And today we'll be working on speaking skills for how to talk about your neighbors, how to talk about people in your neighborhood. Specifically, we're going to look at behaviors and how to describe behaviors. All of that and more coming up in just a minute. First, quick introduction, and then we'll get started. Let me put my profile on the screen. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on my name in the Verbling website, it'll take you here. This is my profile page. If you follow me on the left side, where it says follow, on the bottom, you can communicate with me directly in the Verbling message window, and you should receive notifications of my upcoming classes. On the right, you can book a private tutoring class or buy a package, and I will work with you on creating a personalized learning program to help get you to your goals. And that's a little bit about me. I'm going to share the presentation with you that we're going to use for today, and we'll give everyone a minute or two to come in, and then we'll get started. So let's put the presentation there in the chat window. You've got one there in the group chat and one here in the Verbling chat. Okay. And while we're waiting for people to come in, let me just greet you and make sure that your microphones are working. So, the first person I saw was Sine, or Chine. How do I say your name?
Sine.
Sine. And where are you from, Sine?
I'm from South Korea in Asia.
Right. The South Korea in Asia. Not the other South Korea. The one in Asia. Very good. Nice to have you, Sine. Nice to have you. And
nice to meet you, teacher.
Good, good. Let's see who else is out there. We've got Sergey. Hello, Sergey. How are you?
Hi, John Eric. Everything is fine. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Sergey, that looks like a different picture than before. You were here before, right?
Yes, I was here before. I just, switched the picture.
But if you switch the picture, then I can't remember who you are.
But my face is the same.
No, you switched your face too. It's a different face.
Really?
I'm
No,
pretty sure.
no.
I'm pretty sure it's a different face. Nice to have you back, Sergey. Let's see, who else is out there? We've got Mr. Fabian. Hello, Fabian. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Fine, thank you.
Fabian, what's happening to you in that picture? It looks like you're in a lot of pain in your picture. What's happening to you?
I am in a, I don't know what is the word in English.
Me neither. Are you being tortured?
It's wait a minute. Swing in a big swing.
I guess so. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It looks very scary.
Yeah, really scary.
Seems that way. Okay, nice to have you with us, Fabian. Fabian, where are you from?
I am from Colombia. I live in Bogota.
In Bogota. Okay, very good. Okay, welcome back, Sylvia. Nice to see you.
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good. Welcome back, Mr. Edson. Nice to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Welcome back, Ms. Carmen. Nice to see you.
Good morning, John. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Welcome back, Mr. Jose. Nice to see you. Jose, are you out there? Uh-oh, I don't hear you, Jose. Are you there? Uh-oh, Jose with microphone problems. We'll come back to you. Welcome, Ms. Lee. I called you Lee. Ms. V, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Very good. And Mr. Ahmed, how are you? Oh, we can't hear you, Ahmed. We can't hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Oh, no, you're very, very, very quiet.
No, I just.
It's a connection problem. Sometimes you're loud, sometimes you're quiet. So check the connection of the microphone, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. And Jose, give me a sign if you can hear me. Write something in the chat window so I know that you hear me, okay? Because right now we don't hear you. Jose, we don't hear you. Okay? Let's get started, everyone. Take a look at this picture. Do you think this is a good picture to go with the title, How to Talk About Your Neighbors? What do you think this graphic is trying to tell us? First of all, what do you see in the picture? Carmen, what do you see in the picture to the right?
I can see two fists, like in a vaccine.
Two fists, yeah. And what are they wearing, these fists?
Guns. I don't know how do you call that.
What, did you say guns?
Guns.
G-U-N-S, guns, like Artemis?
Yeah, G-A-N-T-S.
G-A-N-T-S. Gantz? Oh, is that the brand? Gant? I'm confused. What is a Gant?
Okay, let me.
Gant like this. Hold on. A Gant like this? G-A-N-T-S?
That's it.
What is a Gant? I don't know what that is.
I thought it was I thought it was English. I don't know. Let me just check it out.
It could be a brand name.
I don't know.
Because there's a brand called Gant. Could be that.
I don't know.
Class, what do you call those things that you wear if you're going to beat someone?
Boxing gloves.
Boxing gloves. Is that what you meant? Boxing gloves, Carmen.
Yeah, some kind of gloves, but I don't know. I thought it was Gant. I don't know.
No. Boxing gloves. These are boxing gloves.
Okay.
Maybe they look like big mittens, you know, like when you're a kid and it's cold outside, you can wear mittens because you don't have the fingers cut out. But these are called boxing gloves. Let's see. Sylvia, why do you think there's a picture of boxing gloves here with a title like How to Talk About Your Neighbors? Just curious. Does that say something to you?
Yeah, because normally you have problems with your neighbors.
Yeah.
It's difficult to live in community.
Getting along is not easy. Exactly. Well, so we're going to talk about a variety of different behaviors because that's what people tend to talk about when they talk about their neighbors. I've got a few words that might help you out. Okay? So, let's take a look. I want you to go around the room. By the way, look at the friendly neighbor there in the picture. Does anyone recognize that friendly neighbor? Who is that?
Obama.
Yeah. Obama likes to bring pies to his neighbors. Did you know that? True story. True story. Okay, I want everyone to say a word in the behavior box at the top. Okay, we're going to go around from right to left in the order that I see you. So, Ahmed, I want you to say the first word, and you can use the IPA symbols to help you. The first word is? Ahmed, are you there? Oh, I don't hear Ahmed. You know...
Do you hear me now?
There we go. Okay. Say the first word for us.
Behavior.
After that.
Bully.
One more time?
Bully.
Bully. Correct. Bully. Ms. V. Keep going. Next word.
To fight.
What? V. V.
Yeah. To fight.
Okay. Sylvia, next word. Sylvia?
Yeah. Friendly.
Okay. Sergey, the next word.
Helpful.
Excellent. Jose, the next word.
Kind.
Good. Fabian, the next.
Naughty.
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 Good, very good. Mr. David, the next word after naughty is?
Nosy.
Nosy? Uh-oh.
Oh, noisy.
Yeah. There's that little I in there that makes it an oi, right? Noisy. And the next word is nosy. Okay? Can everyone hear the difference? Noisy with an I and nosy without. Ms. Sine, the next word in the third row?
Polite.
Polite. Very good. And Carmen, the one after that?
Rough.
Rough. Notice that the GH is an F sound. Rough. Back to Ahmed. After rough, we have?
Will behave.
After rough?
Rude.
Rude. Careful with the R. It's not R, but R. Rude. Good. V, the next word?
To swear.
To swear. And Sylvia, the last word.
Well behaved.
Okay, good. Say that first word again. Well.
Well.
Well behaved.
Well behaved.
There's you can drop the L when you put them together. Instead of well behaved, let your tongue just hang in your mouth. Don't let it touch anything. Well behaved. Well behaved.
Well behaved.
Okay, sounds a bit better. So we can just drop the L when it's at the end of the word. You don't have to say it. Okay, you've got a little bit of vocabulary. Most of those words are probably familiar. Which words do you think are positive and which are negative? Okay? Let's see. Mr. Fabian, give me a positive word out of that group.
Polite.
Polite is positive, yeah?
Yeah, or helpful.
Polite and helpful? Absolutely positive. Sergey, give us one or two negative words.
Bully.
Bully, yep.
Fight.
And?
To fight. As I said.
And to fight, yeah. Fighting is not a very positive thing. There you go. Let's see. Mr. David, can I say that someone's behavior is rough? Does that sound okay?
No, I think it's more like he's rough.
He's rough.
Right.
So, what does that mean? If you describe me as rough, what am I doing?
You're not very polite. You're too aggressive.
Not polite.
Right. Not polite.
Not
Kind of aggressive.
And aggressive. Rough. I
Rough.
give short answers. Yeah, Carmen said the word is blunt. Yep. Blunt. Well, you know what? Blunt for sure, but even more than blunt. Aggressive, yeah. Yeah. Blunt is when you give short answers. So blunt, short responses, and kind of aggressive.
Or succinct. If you want to say blunt, it's succinct.
Succinct is a positive word. Succinct. Succinct. You expect succinctness. Succinctness.
Succinct.
From an eloquent person. You would not expect succinctness from a blunt person or a rough person, right? That's a positive word. Rude comes to mind if you're kind of a rough character. Okay, all right. Are there any words? Oh no, there is one. What I want to ask you about, Sine. If you have
Yes.
have you ever had a naughty kid in your neighborhood? Have you ever had a naughty kid?
Yes, yes.
What did the naughty kid do? What made the kid naughty?
Naughty kid is
Did you have one that you had to deal with in your neighborhood?
yes, used to be.
What did he or she do?
They use. How can I explain that?
I don't know.
And naughty is a
Give me
similar word.
give me the behavior. What did the kid do that made the kid naughty? What was the behavior?
and I live in an apartment.
Right.
And so when you get into the elevator to go
Right.
down,
Mhm.
and the naughty kids jump on the elevator and and I said, don't jump in the elevator. It might be dangerous. It causes that jumping on the elevator cause the problem.
Cause it to crash.
Crash. But he doesn't hear me. He doesn't listen to me. He keep jumping.
Right. Did the elevator crash? No.
Just
You're still
just
here.
warning.
You survived. You survived. Okay. So naughty is someone misbehaving, like the kid jumping on the elevator. Misbehaving. That's another word. I'm going to give you suggestions, and I'm going to give you corrections in the chat window. You may want to copy these to your notes so you can review them later. You can download the presentation too, so you can review the presentation, look at the notes, that kind of thing. All right. So now that we know some positive and negative words, which of the following complaints, I'm going to give you a series of complaints, which of the following complaints about neighbors are the most common? Tell me what you think. I'm going to jump forward here. You're going to see this, exercise 2. Okay? We've got animal problems, car parking, naughty children, walls and fence problems, noise, rough behavior. David, looks like we can say rough behavior. And rubbish. By the way, rubbish is a British English word. What's the American word for rubbish? Any ideas? Garbage. Yeah, trash, garbage. Okay? We don't have to put them in order, but I'm just curious, what do you think? Which of these complaints are you think the most common?
Noise.
Noise, absolutely. Who has not? Raise your hand if you've never had to deal with noise problems. Oh, you've all got your hands up? See? Told you. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you have laws where you live to prevent people making noise?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
At what time? Ahmed says, is that no? There's no laws where you live for noise?
What kind of laws?
So here in Portugal, after 8 o'clock, noise has to stop. No construction is allowed. The city can't be doing work on the street. Industrial kind of stuff. It's all got to stop at 8 o'clock, and it has to stay stopped until 8 o'clock the next morning. That's a law.
But I mean around your house. I mean, you live in an apartment. Have you got any laws against the?
Sure. Yes.
For neighbors too.
Against the neighbors too. Yeah. Your neighbors can't be blasting music after 8 o'clock. Now, what are you going to do if they are blasting music? The answer is not much.
Call the police.
Yeah, call the police. Then the police get angry at you because you're bothering them. So I'm not saying there's much you can do about it, but there are laws here. And in New York, for example, if you honk your horn, you have to pay a fine of, it used to be $300, and now I think it's $500. You cannot honk your horn in the city. And guess what everyone does? They honk their horns because no one's going to stop them. Besides noise, have any of you had to deal with any of these other problems where you live?
Animal problems.
Yeah? What did you have to deal with? Your neighbors had, what, pets?
Oh, so we had like a house with 5 apartments in it.
Right, right.
It was like 5 or 6 dogs in all these apartments in summary, and it was smell everywhere of these freaking dogs.
Great.
And, it's very dirty, and it just was awful. And
what could you do about it? What could you do?
Nothing. But just not far away, there was another house, and someone in this house had about 30 animals in their apartments.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but actually their neighbors were able to do something about it, and at some point it stopped. It was, like a crazy old woman who just collected homeless pets everywhere on the streets and just brought to her apartments. And
we have a name for that in English, Sergey. Do you know what we call that in English?
No.
We call that crazy cat lady.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, cats and dogs.
I know, but we just say crazy cat lady. It can cover any animal. Crazy cat lady. Every neighborhood has their crazy cat lady who spends all day feeding the cats, talking to the cats. Could be squirrels. That's okay. Dogs. Could be. But we just say crazy cat lady. Kind of just talks all day. Wow. There you go. Well, I don't know about you. Here's a true story. Class, are you ready for a true story? Are you ready? Here we go.
Yes.
True story.
Yes.
I am not making this up. True story. I've got lots of good stories. True story. When I was 5 years old, younger than 5, maybe 4.5, 5 years old, and I remember this to this day. That was, 35 years ago. I remember the neighbors were hysterical because there was a snake in the tree outside in our backyard. True story, snake in a tree. I don't live in Texas or in a desert somewhere. I mean, these are not big snakes. I lived in a major city in the East Coast, right? You don't get big snakes in New York, Boston, Philadelphia. They're not like big, nasty snakes. There was a little snake. The neighbor was hysterical and screaming. Called the police. What do you think happened next? What do you think happened when the police arrived?
The police doesn't believe the story.
I wish. Do you know what happened? The police came and they shot the tree. They came with their guns out and they started shooting the tree because the tree had a snake in it. And in the end, we had a tree with lots of bullet holes in it. And also, I'm a 4.5, 5-year-old kid with the police shooting a gun in front of me. What is that? I guess they killed the snake, but they also killed the tree. Anyway, true story.
Yeah.
That's how we do things in the States. That's the American way. Okay? So now you know.
But they should have called an animal control or something. I think.
There is animal control, but the police came. there is.
I mean, they should have, delegate a problem to animal control department or something. At least this is what they do in movies and TV series.
They should have. They absolutely should have. There's no reason for that. But I remember this, But it's true. They should have. It's not their responsibility, but that's what happened.
Is it really true?
Sorry?
Is it really true? It does not like to be a true story.
No, it's a true story. It's from my autobiography. It's going on sale on Amazon next week. I'm going to give you a link. And no, it's a true story. I'm telling the truth. But it's happened 35 years ago, so, this is my subjective memory of this. So, we've talked a little bit about problems with neighbors. I want you to listen to the results of a survey in Britain. Listen to the order that they put this in for a minute. And what we're going to do then, I'm going to have you just listen and talk about this. Okay? But then I'm going to have you read a little article. It's very, very short. And what we're going to do is pick out language for behavior, language that you can use to describe your neighbors and situations that have happened to you. It's going to be here on slide 3. But first, let's do a little bit of listening, okay? So, here we go. This is from the results of a survey. I guess this is kind of like something you'd hear on the news. The reporter says, okay, well, on top of the list is noise. Noise is the biggest problem for neighbors in the UK. According to our survey, the second in the list is rough behavior. Notice this is British English, so they say rough behavior, and as David said, maybe we would say rough people in American English. The second in the list is rough behavior, and after that, in third place, naughty children. The fourth place is problems with walls and fences. After that, in fifth place, are problems to do with car parking. In the sixth place are animal problems, for example, dogs barking. And finally, in seventh place, are problems to do with rubbish. And there you go. Do I have that? I don't have the transcription of that. So does that sound like your experience? Is that more or less what you would have expected?
Totally. I live here, so in UK, so it's true.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
Ah, lots of noise problems.
Yes.
It seems strange what rough behavior is in second place. I mean, it's not a problem at all.
The second place is rough behavior, right?
Yeah. I mean, in Russia, it's pretty normal to have, rough behavior of your neighbors. It's okay.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Let's ask Sylvia. Sylvia, what do you think they mean by rough behavior? Why would that be a complaint? Because you're there in the UK, right?
Yeah. Rough behavior, for example, people take drinks and start to drink in front of their houses in the middle of the night.
No, it's not a rough behavior, right?
Yeah, and they make a big party in the street at 4 a.m. It's unbelievable, really.
Wow. Sounds a little bit like New York. You know, in New York, you can drink alcohol, but you have to have it in a paper bag. You drink all you want. It has to be covered in a paper bag. So you see all these people with paper bags in the street because you're not really supposed to drink. True story.
And you can buy these paper bags in any shop or store, right?
You can you can bring your own. You can buy them. You do whatever you want. But yes, there was a joke. If you ever saw The Simpsons, there's a guy who puts a bottle of alcohol in a paper bag, and all the police suddenly can't understand that he's drinking. They're like, "Whoa, what's happening? I don't see anything. Do you see anything?" True story. It's one of those strange American things. So listen, we talked a little bit about problems with neighbors. I want you to take a look at language we can use to talk about these things. So here, exercise 4 says, read nightmare neighbors. What do you think the people are in the photos? Let's take a look. I'm going to go to the beginning. To say what or who? Did I read that wrong? It says who, sorry, who, not what. Who do you think the people are in the photos? Okay, so before we read, let me ask Miss Sine first. Look at the girl on the top. Who do you think she is? Before we even read, who do you think these people are? Who's the girl on the top? Give me a rough guess, and then we'll see if you're right. Who does she look like to you? I don't mean a celebrity. I mean, considering the title, Nightmare Neighbors, who do you think she is in the story we're going to read about? It's kind of like a news story.
Reporter?
Maybe she's the reporter? Yeah. Maybe she's undercover. Could be. And Mr. Fabian, what about the boy with the soccer ball?
I think is naughty boy.
Naughty or naughty?
Naughty boy.
Yeah, naughty boy. Exactly. So maybe the naughty boy did something in the reporter's reporting. Could be. Actually, let's find out. We'll see. By the way, let me just say a quick hello to, it looks like Nasta. How do I say your name? Is it Nasta? Nasta.
Nasteha.
Uh-huh. Say it one more time, please.
Nasteha.
It's really hard to hear you, unfortunately.
Nasteha.
Nasteha. Ah, okay. And where are you from, Nasteha?
I'm from Somalia, but I live in Norway.
You're from Somalia, but you live in?
Norway.
In Norway. Okay, fantastic. Nice to have you. So today we're learning speaking skills related to describing behavior, and we're going to do that by talking about neighbors. And here we're actually going to read a little bit about it. I'll tell you what, Nasteha. Why don't you read, let's all take a paragraph. Why don't you read the first paragraph of this news report? It's kind of a documentary. Okay, so read the title and just the first paragraph for us, okay?
Okay.
Can you read out loud?
Okay, this is the first. Okay, night, my neighbors. This is the first of a new documentary series about problem neighbors. In this program, we follow lives of the Dixons, a retired cable in Plymouth.
In Plymouth?
Plymouth, yeah. And their next door neighbors, the Lanes, a single mother and her 2 children.
Excellent, very good. I want you to repeat 2 words for me. Repeat the word neighbors.
Neighbors.
Good. And also, we follow the lives. Lives.
Lives, yeah.
Right, because we have to live and we have the life. The life. So this is the noun, lives. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, let me, because I interrupted you, let me just read that again really quickly so we don't lose the story. This is the first of a new documentary series, so this is like TV, about problem neighbors. In this program, we follow the lives of the Dixons, they're a retired couple in Plymouth, and their next-door neighbors, the Lanes, that is a single mother and her 2 children. Okay? Let's continue. How about Ms. Sylvia? Can you take paragraph 2 for us?
Okay. The Dixons say that the Lanes are noisy and rough. They say they can't sleep because of the fighting and shouting from next door.
Shouting. One more time. Shouting.
Shouting.
Good.
From next door. Mr. Dixon says he caught...
Mrs.
Dixon says she caught Mrs. Lane's daughter painting graffiti on their garage wall. And according to Mr. Dixon, the Lanes live ravished by the front door. He said the smell is terrible and it's a health hazard.
Uh-oh, so there's a little hazard.
Hazard.
With a Z, not an S. Hazard.
Hazard. Hazard.
It's still an S. You have to feel your throat vibrating, like zoo and zoom and Zaire, right? Hazard.
Hazard.
Okay, it's better. You have to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we know a little bit about it, Sergey, is that woman on top, is she a reporter like we thought?
And what exactly? I just don't recall it. But the girl at the top, she's just a daughter who made graffiti on garage wall of Dixon.
Yeah, it's probably the daughter. So it's probably not the reporter. It's probably the daughter doing graffiti. Okay, I agree. And okay, let's do the second page. One more. Let me get a new reader. Mr. Fabian, can you take that first paragraph at the top, please?
Okay. But of course, there are 2 sides to every dispute.
Dispute. Good.
According to Mrs. Lane, the Dixon just want to make trouble because she is separated from her husband. She says they enjoy complaining because they're bored and haven't got anything else to do.
So this is the other side of the story. Okay. Ms. Sine, can you continue up to, why don't you take it up into like line 26? Okay, so from the beginning to the middle.
Okay. There's something fascinating about looking at other people's everyday lives. And this is the secret of reality TV's success. In the series Nightmare Neighbors, we see how tiny disputes can become wars which last for many years. We'll see a woman who set fire to her neighbor's door because he parked his car in the wrong place.
Wow, that sounds like a great show. Mr. Jose, can you take it from the middle to the bottom, please?
Okay. Can become wars which last for many years. We'll see a woman who set fire to her neighbor's door because he parked his car in the wrong place. And a man who shot his neighbor's dog because it was barking too loudly.
Careful, not dog, but
Dog.
Yeah, it's better.
His neighbor's dog because it was barking too loudly. We'll see a couple who installed a security camera in their home and pointed it towards their neighbor's front door. At the end of these shows, you come away thinking, why don't see people just talk to each other?
I know, right? Why don't they just talk to each other? What's wrong with them? So, which of the problems are mentioned, the problems that we read about earlier, which of the problems are mentioned so far in this documentary series? Let's see. Mr. David, give me a problem that you remember mentioned. Remember that list that we talked about, that we heard the survey? Did any of those problems get mentioned in this little article?
Well, I mean, they're noisy, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Do you remember where they said that? They did mention noise. Do you remember where? If you have the presentation open, you can go back to slide 3. You can look at slide 3 and slide 4. And if you can find it, give me some examples, or give me one example.
They say they can't sleep because of the fighting and shouting from the next doors.
Fantastic. Right. So noise is there in line number 9. Excellent. Mr. Ahmed, besides noise, did any other problems get mentioned?
Graffiti on their garage.
It's a little hard to hear you. One more time.
It's about the painting.
About the painting. You mean the graffiti?
Yeah, graffiti.
Ah, good. Okay, and where do we see that? You're right. Where do they say that?
11.
11, right. Mrs. Lane's daughter painting graffiti on the garage wall. Okay, very good. So we've got animal problems in line 9. We've got fence and wall problems in line 11. Any other things that you noticed, class? Anyone else?
Yeah, but the rubbish.
The rubbish. Where's the rubbish? Ah, right.
Bottom.
That's right. And you can see the little sign. Kindly do not leave rubbish here, but they do. Excellent. So I want you also to notice some of the language that's used, too. Like good keywords. Painting, graffiti, leaving trash or rubbish. This will help you talk about things in your experience. At least I hope it will. Make a mental note. Animal problems anywhere?
Yep.
Where? You're right, but where?
The dog was barking too loudly. It's obviously the problem, and the guy solved it clearly. I mean, in a smart way. He just removed it, and that's a cool story.
There you go. In the American way. Yeah, exactly. Just like the police with the snake. Exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. If you're going to solve it all the way, not halfway. Okay, and there's one more problem that was mentioned. Did anyone
28.
What's that? Yeah.
Car parking problems.
Exactly. Yeah. Parking. Parked his car in the wrong place. Okay? And therefore you set fire to your neighbor's house. Would you set fire to your neighbor's house if they parked their car in the wrong place?
No, you should just set fire on a car, not a door.
Right. Set the car on fire. That makes. Otherwise, you're sending mixed messages. I agree. Okay. Just curious what you would do. Okay, now we know. Remind me not to move in next to Sergey, by the way. So, I'm going to jump ahead here. Give me a second. I've got a few questions about vocabulary. It says to find the meanings. Sorry. Find words with these meanings. If you can do this from memory, you are a superstar. If you can't, I want you to scroll through slides 3 and 4. The first one is a thing which may be dangerous. What's the key word they used in the text? I even corrected one of you on pronunciation, so one of you should know this really well.
Hazard.
Exactly. Exactly. I would say it like this: hazard, hazard. Exactly.
Okay.
A thing which may be dangerous is a hazard. In this case, they said a health hazard. Right. Very good. Number 2, an argument or disagreement between people is
Dispute.
very good. Dispute. Notice the little E. Dispute. Dispute. Good. Number 3, no longer living with your wife, husband, or partner means you are
Separate.
separated.
Separated.
Separated. The noise made by a dog, oh, that's easy.
Bark.
Barking.
Carmen, what's the noise made by a dog?
A bark.
That's what we call it. I want to hear the noise.
Woof, woof, woof.
Very good. Very good. Very good. That is the noise made by a dog, performed by Carmen. Number 5, to fix equipment into position so that it can be used. This one maybe is the definition is more confusing than the real word. What about the people? Remember the people with the security camera so they could spy on their neighbors?
Pointed?
What?
Pointed?
Yeah.
Install it.
Installed.
Install.
Right. Install. They installed a camera just to spy on their neighbors. Okay. I want you to make a note. Oh, you know what? Let me put the answers there for you. I want you to make a note of these because I'd like you to use them yourself to describe a situation you've had to deal with. And so I'm going to quickly put in health hazard, number 1. Number 2, dispute. These are words that you could use. Number 3, separated. You know, the crazy cat woman has been separated from her husband or whatever. We could say barking, whoops. Number 4, we could say barking dogs, for example. And number 5 said to install a camera. Okay, there are plenty of other vocabulary words we've noticed, but those are the answers here. And there's more in exercise 5 that we talked about. How they talked about noise, how they talked about parking problems, etc. I want to, let me see what I have time to do. Okay. Mr. Dixon works in a bank, right? Wrong.
No.
Wrong. He's retired. I know we've only read this once, but let's see how many you can get right. I want you to read number 2. Sine, could you read number 2 for us?
Okay. The Lanes live next door to the Dickens.
Is that true?
Yes.
It
True.
is. They're neighbors. They're neighbors. Mr. David, number 3. Mr. David, number 3.
Yes, I'm sorry. Number 3, there are 3 people living in the Lane's house. True.
Who are they? Do you remember? You're right,
Yeah,
but who are they?
the mother and her 2 children.
Uh-huh. And what kind of children does she have?
She has a daughter and a boy.
She's got a graffiti painting daughter and a football playing son or something like that. Okay, that's it. Mr. Fabian, number 4.
For Mrs. Dixon says she can't sleep.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. The Dixons, but
is it 100% true that only Mrs. Dixon says it?
Okay, it's false because it doesn't specific Mr. Dixon.
Right. It's the Dixon, so it's both of them. It's the couple. Both Mr. and Mrs. Dixon say they can't sleep, so it's actually false. Okay, very good. Mr. Jose, number 5.
Yes, I think Mrs. Lane isn't married.
Mm-hmm. She isn't married, right?
Yes, she isn't married, yes.
She isn't. What is she?
She isn't married.
What is she? She is...
She is living with her children.
I know, but what's her status? What's that word we learned before? She is what? Is she divorced? Is she divorced?
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. Class, what's that word?
Separated.
Separated, correct.
Separated, yes.
She is separated. We don't know if she's divorced, but she's living without a husband and she was married. She's separated.
She's separated, yes.
Right. Mr. Sergey, number 6.
The Dixons definitely enjoy complaining. Well, from point of view of Lanes, they are enjoying complaining, and I personally believe them.
And I personally believe you. So I believe you, and you believe the Lanes, and Lanes say they are. It must be true, and the answer is true. According to Mrs. Lane, the Dixons just can't shut their mouths. You know, those nasty, gossiping, complaining neighbors. Absolutely. So it's true, true, false, false, and true for number 6. Wow, you did better than I thought you'd all do. Very good, everyone. Now, here's a question for you. Who do you feel more sorry for? The Dixons or the Lanes? Sylvia, who do you feel more sorry for?
I don't know. Maybe both are bad neighbors.
Do you think they're equally bad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably.
Because? On one hand, but on the other...
No, because normally when two people or two groups fight, it's because both want. Do you understand?
It's because both
want.
Want what?
To do it. Want to do it. Want to fight.
Wait. Go back for a second. It's because both want to, Sylvia.
Want to.
You got to put the 2 there. I was confused. Because both want to, meaning want to fight or want to complain.
Okay.
So maybe they are kind of equally to blame. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Good expression, by the way. Equally to blame for something. Good expression. Equally to blame. Ms. Carmen, which do you think is the worst behavior mentioned so far? If they're equally to blame, I don't know.
I don't know. I think the Lanes, because I think the mother can control the kids.
Right.
In some way.
Yeah, Well, that's true, but didn't someone shoot the neighbor's dog? I know it was just mentioned in the TV series, but I guess if we think about the TV series, probably killing your neighbor's dog is pretty bad. So I don't know, but
So
yeah.
are you talking about the Lanes and the Dixons? Because I think they are different. I mean, one was part of those neighbors, and the other one was a TV show. So I don't know if you're talking about the same thing.
It's true. This was one episode of the TV show. This was just
then.
one. And let's see. Mr. Ahmed, why do you think the writer recommends this program? This is like I guess it's kind of like a TV reviewer, maybe writing for the TV Guide or something like that, or a website. Why does the writer recommend this particular program, in your opinion?
I think to watch more worse behavior. Maybe we have already, worse behavior than others. Maybe we have some bad behaviors. So
to witness worse behavior. Oh, so it's kind of sociological. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it could be. I wonder, tell me something, class, all of you. What do you think about reality television? Because it's been going on now for probably 15 or more years because of, Big Brother caught on, and it's reality television all over the world. This is a reality TV series, right? Bad Neighbors, Nightmare Neighbors. When this was written, reality television was kind of new. 10 years later, it's everywhere. In fact, there's a show called, Nightmare Kitchen and Nightmare Hotel or something like that. Those Gordon Ramsay shows about the worst places. There's all kinds of crazy things. I saw one, I didn't see one, but I saw one listed called Nightmare Tattoo, where people tell their story about getting a tattoo or whatever. What do you think about this reality television, since it's the topic, in a way, of the class? What do you think about it?
It's rubbish.
Tell us why.
Because I think it's a fake. I think the most part of them are fake.
Yeah? You think it's fake, or you think it's exaggerated? You think it's staged? Yeah?
No, I really think it's fake. It's the people that made the program put that situation. It's not real.
So we call that staged.
Staged,
Sylvia,
yeah, exactly.
Staged. That means completely fake, done just for the sake of the show. It's been staged.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that there's a purpose in it. I don't know. What do you think, Carmen?
What I think is for me, I don't understand why people always complain about this kind of shows. You got them on TV, you want to watch them, you watch them. You don't want to watch it, just turn it off. There are people who like to watch that kind of programs, and I think it serves a purpose to entertain people. You are
The purpose is entertainment, yeah?
That's what I think. And if you think everything is already been sorted out, I think there are a lot of freaks, much more freaks than you can imagine, outside the world. So what they do is just get all the freaks together, and that's why they make this kind of show.
Wow, all the freaks together.
That's it.
I've been on reality television, Carmen. Does that make me a freak?
I think you should be quite a freak to go to this kind of program, or at least know you're a little bit insane.
Verbing's kind of like reality television because we're broadcasting live on YouTube. So does that mean we're all freaks?
No. But when you go to a program, when you get locked up in a house with 20 other people for about 2 months without getting out, you're perhaps, for me, that's a freak.
I think that they they definitely choose. I have a feeling they choose the worst people they can possibly find to make sure that things go
Absolutely.
wrong. Yeah,
That's
I think
it.
that's part of it. Well, I want you to think about your own reality television for a minute. We're not going to have time to do stories from everyone, but don't worry, because I'm going to come back to this class on Thursday. I'm going to take a look at some grammar, and you're going to have a second chance. But we've got about five minutes or so. Well, not quite. We've got about 4 minutes or so. I'd like you to take some of the vocabulary from the chat window, words that you've learned today, and I want you to describe a problem that you've had with your neighbors. Okay? It could be a parking problem, an animal problem, a noise problem. Doesn't really matter what you want to do, but I want you to share a little story. Maybe we have time for 2 short stories today, but on Thursday we're going to have the entire second half of class. Okay? I told you about my snake story. Does anyone have a short story they can share?
Yes, I have.
Go for it.
Okay, so during previous 5 years, I lived in apartments, and my neighbor, he was like a jobless guy who was playing computer games all day long, starting at 9 o'clock and ending at 11 o'clock in the evening. And basically, I could not do anything about it because according to law, he should stop doing it at 11 p.m. And until 11 p.m. he can do it all day long. And the walls in the building were very, very thin, and I just heard everything. All the music, all the, shooting sounds and everything.
Sounds
So,
great.
yeah, I talked to him several times, but he just didn't care. He just, hippie-like whole jobless guy who does not care about anything but his computer games. And finally, I just moved to another apartment after 5 years.
That sucks.
Yeah, but new apartments are really great, actually.
Okay, so it worked out well. Wow. I don't know if I would have moved. Actually, I guess I have. I've actually moved out of apartments. I had a place, true story, another true story. I had a place that opened a singing, like a cabaret, underneath my apartment, and it was illegal. They had no license to operate, and they opened a cabaret and they sang for tourists underneath my apartment. Yeah. By the way, instead of jobless, jobless is okay, but usually we say jobless for like jobless rate, like a sociological indicator. So I might just say someone who is unemployed rather than jobless. Because you'll hear like the jobless rate or the unemployment rate. Maybe we wouldn't use it to describe people as much as unemployed. So someone who is unemployed spent all day, I can add that too, spent all day playing on his PlayStation or whatever it was. Okay? By the way, good expression, thin walls. Good expression, thin walls. We could hear everything. Okay, very good, very good. Let's do this, everyone. Copy down the vocabulary that was new and useful for you from the chat window. Put in your notes. On Thursday, we're going to do a Grammar Garage class, but we're going to come back to this little article. I'm going to work on a grammar point that you heard, we read about. It's specifically an aspect of reported speech because everyone's talking about the behavior of their neighbors. So we're going to take a look at reported speech in the beginning. For the entire second half of class, we're going to be comparing stories. Okay, and we're going to be trying to use some of the expressions we've learned to do that. All right, so come back Thursday for that at 1 GMT. I'll be back in just a minute for Fluency Fundamentals, where we're going to work on the language of planning and schedules, all kinds of idioms that you've never heard before. I guarantee some of them will be new. That's coming up in just a minute. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
Bye, teacher.
Thank you. Have a nice day all. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.